So back in the app.js file, we are currently only parsing the data to be a JavaScript object. And remember, this will be the data format we get back. Now, as I said, I want to retrieve this description here and the temperature. Now, if I start with this description, we see that our object we get back has some kind of weather node or a weather key here. And this again is an array then. And this array also has as a first item in it this JavaScript object, which then has a property named description, which is the one I'm interested in. Sounds difficult? It really isn't. I'll create a new variable called weather data, and this should be a new weather object. So this uses this constructor I set up here in the weatherdata.js file, and that's why the ordering is important, that I need to import the weather data before app.js. So I'm creating a new weather object, and I want to pass the city name, of course. The city name is something I already extracted. And then I want to access the data I get back, and I'm just making this a little bit wider so that I can see this better. So the data here, and then as mentioned, I do have this weather key, this one here, which is an array. So I need here in this array, I need the first and only object in this case. And then I'm interested in the description. So weather is an array, and I want the first object, which I access through the index 0, of course. Then I'm interested in the description of that object. Again, this key here. And since this is all lowercase, I want to make it all uppercase. So I will run to uppercase on that. That's a function you learned throughout this course, right? With that, I'm creating my weather data, but of course I also need to set the temperature. I do this by accessing the temperature field. That's the field I added to my prototype here. It's not the underscore temperature, it's this temperature here. And I will set this equal to data, and then the temperature is stored in the main field here, and then in the temp field. So data.main.temp. Now, in order to get it in Celsius, which is the unit I want to get in order for my conversion formula to be right, I need to add something to this call here, to this URL. I need to add something to that anyway, since I also need to add my API key. So let's do both. I'll first add end units equals metric, and then I'll add another and sign and set app ID. Now that's important to get this key right. App ID equals, and now your API key should be pasted into here. That's the key you get in your dashboard on openweathermap.com. So you paste it in here, or specifically, of course, I refer to the API key variable, and then you paste it in here just to have this a bit more split up and not that single long string. So paste in your key here, and with that you should be good to go and actually retrieve the data. With that I can send my request, and now in order to see something, since we're not displaying it yet on the page, I'll simply log the weather data for now. Logging is something you saw quite a bit throughout the course, didn't you? So why not do it here? With all of that, if I search for London and I open up, not that, but my developer tools, clear the console, and I search for London, you see we get back this weather object. This is not what we get back, this is what we make of the data we get back, with the London city name, light rain, all uppercase, and temperature being 61.66 Fahrenheit, which might be correct. Doesn't sound too bad, at least, right? So that's great. And now if I close this, seeing it on the console is perfect, and you did this a lot throughout this course, but we actually don't want to see it on the console. We want to change something here on our index.html page, right? So we'll do this in the next lecture.